I attended the event because it was ARG. They're they're a very important partner of ours, and they're known for doing the things the right way. Um, but in all fairness, that did come secondary to when I got the call and asked if I was available for the event. The our Cam Bill Argus, he starts explaining the event. He tells me there's a ring, and then he keeps going other things. I told me he can stop. He had me at the ring when he said there's going to be a ring that we're going to get in and mimic a boxing. I just love the idea of that atmosphere. So I was in from that point. This event was unique because there was no presentation, there's no slide deck, and so you're just there talking. So the first thing I had to figure out is what are the 3 or 4 things I want them to walk away with? Because in my feeling, when I think of an audience, too much information just gets clouded. And even with the format where you have vendor after vendor, even though 15 minutes is pretty short, I still felt that I had to give a lot of thought to just the hard, I want them to walk away with these 3 or 4 things. And once I had that and I knew what they were, the next thought became, okay, so how do I make it memorable? At the time, I didn't know I was last. So I had to think I could be anywhere from first to 10th or whatever. And I was thinking, how can I make it memorable? I assume everyone else is going to get in the ring. They're going to recite something or read something or whatever. And I thought it immediately came to me. It's boxing. I mean, the when you talk boxing and talking, you have to think of Muhammad Ali. I mean, he was the biggest trash talking, arrogant, boastful, character I think that boxing has had. And so I just went to one of his most famous rhymes, the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And then I wrote in the things that I wanted and I just made sure they rhymed. The key benefits to working with Zoom, of course, first is just the brand. We understand the importance, and when I say the brand, people really think I'm talking about Zoom, but I don't mean it that way. I mean because we have built a brand and we understand what it takes to build a brand. We understand what your reputation has to be. We understand how you have to treat customers. We understand how you have to stand behind your product. So I don't say that to both Zoom. I say that to say that we understand that a customer's the business is like that. Your brand is we're a part of that execution, with our technology because if we deliver what we're supposed to your agents, your employees, and they deliver that product to your end user, to your customer, then that promotes your brand. So I start with that because that stuff's important to us. We use all of our own stuff. We understand the importance of things simply just working. So that was important for me to share. The other thing I wanted to share, and it was kind of funny because this is what I got asked about the most, was in one of my rhymes, I talked about the voice of the customer report that came out. And the reason I like talking about that is because there's a lot of industry standard reports that you submit information for, they evaluate, and those are good. And then of course there's their own reports that each supplier can take on themselves and talk to their customers and whatever. But I like the voice of the customer report because we didn't have anything to do with it. It's a third party evaluation of suppliers and how their customers feel about their products post sale. And we were number one on that report. So that means a lot to me. So that was one of the things. I think it's not about it's technology. So and it's cloud technology. So it's not about the demo, it's not about the pre-sales, it's not about what it does on day one. It's where is the company if or when something goes wrong, and that matters. It's an important part for us, especially in the age of AI. You can't go anywhere without hearing somebody say AI this and AI that, and it's in the contact center, it's in cybersecurity, it's in everything. So I imagine for a customer, where AIG matters for us is customers are inundated. They're flooded with information on every type of media there's available. And a lot of times it can all look the same. It can all start sounding the same. And for a customer to try to make the decision of what phone product or what communications product or what contact center product or how the AI for them to try to make that decision on their own while they're simultaneously running, scaling, growing their business, I think there's a reason why it fails almost half the time. So ARG plays an extremely important role because they're your agnostic reviewer of the technology, but they're also the expert that has knowledge of your business. So they're the conduit to say, based on where your business is and the relationships we have and where you're trying to go, this is the vendor that's right for where you are and for where you're going. And the reason I think that's important is because, I mean, let's be honest. Every supplier you talk to is going to tell you why their product is the right product for you. Um, that's not always the case. I'll try to tell you a quick analogy because I use this with our consultants, our internal consultants. I like to say that imagine Zoom makes bay windows for kitchens. I want to find all the customers who have houses who want bay windows for kitchens. I don't want to try to sell kitchen bay windows to somebody who wants French doors or somebody who wants, vertical blinds. It's not the right fit for the customer, and it's quite honestly, it's not the best use of my time. So what ARG does is they connect me with all the customers who want bay windows for their kitchens. My whole job is CX evangelism. So I literally travel the world 99% of the time just talking about Zoom and our products and our offerings. So I attend a lot of these events and a lot of the SKOs specifically, we support them, but it's kind of like you can do this and you can do that, but then it's really a company meeting, it's private. What I absolutely loved about ARG's SKO is they made the suppliers a part of the family, a part of the whole experience that they had with their employee base. And while that it sounds corny or maybe not important, when you're looking at a partnership, that says true partnership to me. That's not, vendor buyer relationship or anything. That is they included us in their internal conversations. They included us in their award ceremony, their dinners. I really felt a true partnership experience going to that event. So I really appreciated that. The other thing I would say is just for the customers who are listening and watching this, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the core part of my evangelism is CX. So if you don't get anything else from this, understand that Zoom is a lot more than just meetings.